Okay, so we are now on clue number 3 of the Mystery Hat Knit Along, and you might look at this think, well, it doesn't look like a hat. It's not. I'm just showing you the tuck stitch on something else I'm working on. And so the tuck stitch is a way of bringing up colors from rows below. So we're doing what's called a tuck 5, and so that means we are actually going to drop 5 rows of knitting. So just a refresher again, when you're looking at how many rows of my cream color do I have on here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the needle. So I start out very first stitch with a tuck. So I'm going to drop that stitch off. This can be scary. And I'm going to use my right hand needle to help pick out those 5 rows. And I'm going to go all the way until the little stitch that is available for me to use is a yellow stitch. Right there. And then I'm going to insert my right hand needle into that yellow stitch, and I'm going to come under all of those little wraps, pick up my working yarn, which is the yellow, and loosely bring it all the way up. And then I'm going to knit 5, 4, and 5, and I'm again going to tuck. Drop that off, 1, 2, 3, 4, bloop, and 5, and I'm going to pop into that stitch that's poking up at me, grab my working yarn, loosely pull it up. The tighter you are, the more it'll pucker, so if you really want this part to poke out at you, you can be nice and tight. If you want it to be a little bit looser, elongate your stitch. It's kind of a personal call on that. But try to be consistent throughout. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I'm going to do this switching to throwing my yarn, pop that stitch off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, find my yellow stitch, pop in, going underneath all of those 5 strands, coming around with my working yarn, coming back under that stitch, pulling it up, and knitting my next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that is the effect that you should be seeing. Yours will be a little bit, I'm using, this is a hand spun yarn, so it's a little bit thick and thin, so it's going to be a little thinner than this. So yours will probably look a little more consistent and maybe a little bit more like this yellow and blue down here when you are all done with it. So this is a very fun stitch. Again, that's your tuck stitch.